Blake Snell, a Dodger pitcher, gets injured? Get out of town. USC basketball, meanwhile, steps up the pace to a rapid rebuild of its roster, and the Kings have finally found a suitable left winger for their top line. Good morning. I'm James. This is your daily dose of sports and snark for the greatest sports city in the world, Los Angeles. This is the faithful Angelenos morning report. It is April 27, 2025. The week is off to a good start because we added a couple of new subscribers to the Angeleno Familia yesterday. Thank you for getting in on the ground floor. We're going to do our best to keep you informed. And welcome back to the Sanctum Sanctorum of LA Sports. By the time you see this clip, I'm going to be at the airport heading north for work, which totally sucks. But what doesn't suck is the glory of LA. And if you like being in the know about LA sports, click the like button. Click the subscribe button. There's a notification bell. Hit that. It lets you know when we drop new content. Sharing is caring. Let people know we exist. By all means, comment. Now, before we go through the news and notes, a look at the scoreboard with a little bit additional on the Lakers. Yesterday, Philly defeated the Dodgers 8-7. The Dodgers at least still have a share of first place after a weekend with the Phils. Meanwhile, the Lakers 126, Thunder 99, beating the top-seeded Oklahoma City. That is a statement, guys. The Lakers are currently up to the third seed in the Western Conference. They are 2 wins away from locking down said third seed. Now look, it's highly unlikely that they're going to catch the second-seeded Rockets, but if the playoffs started today, LA would face mini scrotum. And I might add, this is why on this channel, we did not panic over LeBron James's injury a couple of weeks ago. This is why we didn't freak out over the Lakers losing a miracle buzzer beater over in Chicago. Everybody was screaming how the sky was falling, except here. We knew what this team had. Now, to be clear, the 7th-seeded Clippers, who would be in the play-in tournament if the regular season were complete, they actually have the same record as Mini Scrotum. So it is possible that we could get an all-LA first round, which would be kind of cool. Meanwhile, as for today, the Dodgers head to Washington. The first pitch is at 3:45, and Seattle's in town to take on the LA Kings at 7:30. What do you say we get to the news? Did you have Blake Snell on your which Dodger pitcher will get on the injured list first card? If you did, kudos. It would have been a sleeper pick to an extent. Because, you figure Dodgers pitching coach Mark Prior, he's already built this long-standing relationship with all the other pitchers, has inside knowledge on how to injure them quicker, right? But Snell turned out to be the winner. He's been placed on the injured list with shoulder inflammation. It's retroactive to April 3rd. He's going to miss at least 2 starts. There is no timetable, by the way, to bring him back. Now, I will tell you, obviously, it hurts because he is a 2-time Cy Young Award winner, but it's also to be expected because throughout his career, he has dealt with chronic shoulder and elbow issues. We can't act surprised when a Dodger pitcher gets injured. They're either going to get injured by the way Mark Prior coaches pitchers, or they are going to get injured because they already have a history. So, Snell has been a little bit better than mid so far. He's pitched 9 innings in 2 starts, an ERA of 2. To replace him, the Dodgers promoted Matt Sauer on the roster, but I find it hard to believe that Sauer is going to be a starter. This is the conundrum that the Dodgers have to face over the next week or so. What is the best option to fill in for Snell? Because the vast majority of good options to fill in for Snell are already on rehab. Tony Gonsolin, rehab. Clayton Kershaw, not even in rehab. Shohei Ohtani can't even leave the team to go on rehab. You keep going down, right? Bobby Miller, well, he pitched Sunday in Oklahoma City. So that crosses him off the list. Then you might say, well, what about Landon Knack? But Landon Knack just threw 70-plus pitches in a rehab assignment like 2 days ago. They didn't say he was ready, by the way. They just said he threw 70 plus pitches. So what does that mean in response? You're talking about maybe you call up Justin Wrobleski? I'm not even convinced they do that. Remember, Ben Kasparius has only relieved so far this year, but he's a starting pitcher by trade. Don't be surprised to see a spot start in there. Now, I do recognize that after that amazeballs start that the Dodgers have, much like people were predicting doom and gloom with the Lakers, there they are, ready to do likewise with the Dodgers after losing the series in Philly. Is that fair? See, I'm not sure because I don't like to blame a loss on one guy, but Andy Pages, while not necessarily in the doghouse, it sure as hell sounds like Dave Roberts has the shock collar ready. See, Pages made massive gaffes in each of the 2 Dodger losses in Philly. For example, in Friday's loss, picked off first base, right? In a 1-score game. Runners at a premium. And then on Sunday, he misjudges a fly ball in the Phillies' crucial 7th inning rally. Said Roberts, quote, "As a young player, you've still got to play the game the right way," unquote. And by the way, that belies something that doesn't necessarily play into both losses. Pages has been in 10 games this year. He's already struck out 13 times. You tell me, guys. You tell me. In yesterday's clip, we made a big deal about Wesley Yates rug pulling his favorite coach in the whole wide world, USC's Eric Musselman. Totally not cool. It would have been one thing to say, oh, the team was terrible this year and I've got to rethink my options. No. He didn't do that. He said multiple occasions, we are going to fix this thing and ride it through. And then he takes the next stagecoach out of town. The thing is, Musselman did not give a response, which is what you would expect from a coach. The other thing is he knew he did not have a lot of time to wallow in misery. So he's already added 3 players. We discussed one of them yesterday, Jacob Kofi, coming from Virginia. But they've also added a 6'6" forward, formerly of Cal State Northridge, Keontae Jones. And then SC added a guard, a Marion Dickerson of Robert Morris. Both players averaged double figures in scoring for their former schools. At this point, USC currently has 11 players on the roster, assuming nobody else enters the portal, and it assumes that Desmond Claude has an additional year of eligibility. That has to be ironed out with the NCAA. Looking at USC basketball going into next year, it is still very much an unbalanced roster. Again, we were talking about Kofi coming to the Trojans last night. The guy is 6'10", which makes him the tallest player that Musselman has ever had over at USC. So, rim protection, rebounding, post play, all of which would be a delightful idea over at Heritage Hall. And by the way, last year's Trojan team did not have a point guard. They still don't have one now. So you've got 4 slots on the roster. Just saying. Just saying. I genuinely appreciate the loyal viewers to this channel. That's why I try to answer all the comments that come across, because I don't buy for one moment me being an influencer. This is just me having a little show to where we can talk sports and try and be a little intelligent about it, have a little bit of fun. There's a loyal viewer to this channel who keeps urging me to talk more Kings hockey. And I love the Kings. When I was a kid, my dad actually took me to see the Triple Crown line at the Fabulous Forum. And believe you me, my dad's from Ireland. He didn't know a damn thing about hockey. Having said that, there are 3 reasons why I don't talk about the Kings as much as I should. I'm going to give you the least important reason first. When I highlight Kings news, it doesn't get that many views. Now, that's the least important reason. Reason number two, though, until they get out of the first round of the playoffs, I think a lot of Kings fans, like myself, we just aren't sure how much to believe in this team. We know that they're currently second in the Pacific. We know that would mean a first round, home ice in the first round. They even have an outside shot at catching Vegas for the division. But again, before the season started, check my receipts, go back that far. I was saying that this team would qualify for the playoffs and likely face Edmonton all over again. And by the way, that prediction does not exactly make me Nostradamus. By the way, the most important reason is the third. There simply isn't a lot of quality, reliable hockey news out there. I look for Kings news every single day. And the biggest story of the last couple of days, the LA Times is asking why the top line of the Kings doesn't have a cool nickname. Really? Really, guys? Like, oh, why don't they? Well, the Legion of Doom, super cool name. The aforementioned Triple Crown line, awesome. Even when the Kings had three forwards who all wore a jersey with 70 in it, they were known as that 70s line. Whatever. And so the Times went to both Coach Jim Hiller and Director of Player Development Glenn Murray, and they said, we haven't given it any thought. We're trying to win hockey games here. Which, by the way, is the correct answer. They shouldn't give any thought to a cool nickname. Have you ever nicknamed yourself? If you did, I can assure you all of your friends are like, bro, what are you doing? Now, I say that very long intro, which honestly was selfish and just for me, for one reason. There is one thing I can tell you about the effectiveness of the Kings' top line. They acquired Andrei Kuzmenko about a month ago at the trade deadline. They got him from the Flyers for chump change, a third-round pick. And even though LA is Kuzmenko's third team this year, there are valid reasons to believe why this particular stop is different. He simply has too much respect for Anze Kopitar. Kuzmenko said that he can't afford to get lazy, especially on the back check, or Kopitar will let him know about it. So as a result, Kuzmenko has been playing not just offense, where he does obviously excel, but he's been playing the two-way game. He's been playing both ends of the ice, and he has been the solution that the Kings have been searching for at left wing all season. Many players were thrown in the top line next to Kopitar and Adrian Kempe. And the winner, and it only took 70 hockey games to get there, is Andrei Kuzmenko. And the Kings are benefiting just at the right time. But you let me know what you think in the comments thread. Talk to me, for example, about what you would do to replace Blake Snell for at least a couple of weeks. And for that matter, what do you think of USC's basketball rebuild? Not nearly as hurried as last summer. And if you enjoyed the content, don't forget to subscribe to Faithful Angelenos. We are talking LA sports every single day here. Thank you for watching. I'm James. We'll be back tomorrow. Faithful Angelenos is a Ken Cortel Queso production. Take care.